Afghanistan is a country which is striving to strengthen its democracy, peace and stability as a nation-state. The country now has a democratic Islamic government in place, which is based on the principles of social justice and human rights for all citizens. As a result of over 2 decades of war, Afghanistan, once a stable and peaceful country, turned into one of the more unstable countries in the region. The governmental machinery, with its departments and entities, were adversely affected and the social structures became ineffective and inefficient. The defeat of the Taliban regime in 2001 opened a new chapter in the history of Afghanistan. By signing the Bonn Agreement and with the establishment of the interim government, the doors for the reconstruction of Afghanistan were opened. The convening of DIAG, the establishment of a legitimate Islamic government, preparation, the writing and approval of the constitution, the holding of the presidential and parliamentary elections in a completely democratic environment marked the foundations for a strong and stable system of governance for Afghanistan. The support of the international community in the fight against terrorism, together with the financial, political, and material support extended for the reconstruction effort, is designed to ensure a brighter future for the people of Afghanistan. The high-level international conferences in Tokyo, Berlin, London, and other friendly countries resulted in far-reaching decisions covering security, peace and stability, economic development, rule of law, improving human rights, and protection of environment for the war-ravaged country. Over 2 decades of war in Afghanistan has turned the country into a huge stockpile of illegal weapons and ammunition, the existence of which poses a great threat to the peace and security of Afghanistan, especially when they fall in the wrong hands. According to surveys and information collected by various sources, a majority of these weapons and ammunitions are in the hands of illegal groups which operate outside of the government structures and conduct illegal activities such as extortion, kidnapping, armed robberies, and narco-trafficking. It is reasonable to assume that without collection of illegal arms and ammunition and the disbandment of the illegal armed groups, the government will not be in a position to ensure peace and stability in Afghanistan. In order to counter this, the government initiated the security sector reform by first designing the Disarmament, Demobilization, and Reintegration (DDR) program, which formed the basis for the establishment of the Afghan National Army. The implementation of the DDR program resulted in the decommissioning of approximately 259 Afghan militia forces, or AMF units, that were formed by the Ministry of Defense after the collapse of the Taliban regime, in order to temporarily fill in the security gap. The DDR program was successfully completed in June of 2006. Over 63,000 AMF members affiliated to 259 units were disarmed as a result of this important security program. Close to 58,000 AMF members and their 460 commanders enrolled for the vocational trainings and were successfully reintegrated. Over 57,600 light and 12,200 heavy weapons were collected, which are currently used by the ANA, ANP, and NDS forces. The local population in all parts of the country has consistently raised their voice and concerns over the existence of armed groups in their areas, on the basis of which, on 15 July 2005, His Excellency President Karzai issued Decree No. 50, which termed all armed groups out of the government structures illegal.
The warlordism has not ended yet and should end. The Afghan nation should live in peace and prosperity, free from the fear of guns. Private armed groups in this country do not bring anything other than miseries and desolation.
The armed groups that are outside the structure of the Afghan government security forces impede good governance and economic development in the country. They also indulge in frequent armed clashes in different areas and cause killings of innocent people, armed robberies, violation of human rights, and other criminal activities.
After the DDR program, the DIAG program as a national necessity is being implemented by the government of the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan with the assistance of the international community. Everyone is aware of DIAG's importance. The terrorist networks supported by various circles are now the major factors of existing insecurity in the country. The other factor of insecurity and instability in the country is the existence of illegal weapons which are in the hands of illegal armed individuals and groups. The Afghan government and international community believe if the scattered illegal weapons are not collected through the DIAG program from illegal armed groups, there will be no real peace, stability, and security in Afghanistan. Therefore, the government is determined to consider DIAG as a fundamental requirement for peace and stability in Afghanistan and the Afghan people. The Afghan government considers DIAG as an obligation, and we hope that through the DNR Commission and other partners, especially Ministry of Interior, we would succeed to disband all armed groups and collect their arms and weapons so that the Afghans live free from the fear of the illegal armed groups. We are confident that we will implement this program and the Afghan people will feel comfort when these weapons are collected.
A pathfinding national initiative, DIAG, enjoys the support of the international community led by the government of Japan with implementation and political support provided by UNDP and UNAMA.
The DIAG process, the disbandment of illegal armed groups in Afghanistan, this is a very important endeavor for Afghan nation because this is the very basis of the peace, stability, reconstruction and welfare of this country. For the DIAG process, Japan is working as the leading country for the international community. So that means Japan and other international community members, including UNAMA and other major donor countries, we are working very closely with each other in order to make success in the DIAG process.
The aim of the program is not only weapon collection, but also disbandment of illegal armed groups, which will assist the national government to establish good governance, ensure peace and stability, rule of law, reconstruction, and economic development in every part of the country. As a result of successful measures taken by DIAG, so far nearly 40,000 heavy and light weapons and around 30,000 tons of ammunition have been collected. Furthermore, during the ISAF-ANA military operations, approximately 14,000 light and heavy weapons were either confiscated or destroyed. In addition, the different security forces such as ANA, ANP, and NDS have seized close to 7,000 weapons from about 1,000 narco-traffickers, gangsters, and other criminal elements. Through its weapons registration program run by the Ministry of Interior, the government of Afghanistan has registered around 10,500 weapons. Since the start of the DIAG program, as many as 300 main illegal armed groups, comprising of over 1,000 subgroups, have been fully or partially disbanded throughout the country.
The DIAG program is one of the most important that has been implemented in Afghanistan today. It's not over. The process is still underway. But it is important because without disarmament, without full elimination of illegal armed groups from a country like Afghanistan, there can be no peace. The disbandment of illegal armed groups, the program we're now implementing in Afghanistan, is unique, however, in the annals of disarmament. It seeks no longer to target militias, to target formed units of fighters that are not under government control, but rather to target irregular groups. And we have had success. Today, we can now say that more weapons have been collected under DIAG, the program targeting irregular groups, than were collected under the formal DDR program, which targeted militias in Afghanistan, mostly in the years 2004 or 2005. And in concert with good counterinsurgency practice, in concert with stronger Afghan institutions, and they are getting stronger, both the civilian institutions and the security institutions, DIAG over the next 3 years can make a real difference to the quality of life of Afghan villages, of districts, and literally to underpinning law and order, which are essential ingredients for longer-term development. We in the international community see the value of this program. It is extremely popular with Afghans, with individuals and communities who don't want to see weapons used irresponsibly in their communities, who don't want to see weapons that are in the hands of anyone other than their government. And it is also a program that is coming to be linked more and more with the reform of the police, with the strengthening of governance at local level, with counter-narcotics programs, and also with the rule of law, with the establishment of justice after 30 years of conflict. For all of these reasons, we in the United Nations and in UNAMA strongly believe that the DIAG program should be continued through to 2011. We are counting on the Afghan government for strong leadership and on donors for strong support. And given the track record to date, we're very confident of continuing success.
One of the challenges slowing down the implementation of DIAG is the accelerated activities of terrorists. These terrorists coming from outside borders of the country disturb security situations in the south and eastern regions of the country. Slow reform of the security forces, especially national police. Other factors slowing DIAG implementations are open borders of the country, unavailability of necessary coordination between security organizations, poor coordination of activities between international and national forces, smuggling of weapons supported by drug traffickers, unavailability of sufficient political support for the program at various levels. Therefore, the overview of DIAG program was outlined in an action plan which was approved by His Excellency President Karzai in March 2007, which provided a new momentum to the DIAG program.
The government of Afghanistan launched a new action plan that focused on the district disarmament initiative to strengthen the rule of law and enforcement measure for those illegal armed groups who are not cooperating with the program and to disband them throughout the country. Through this new action plan, a renewed focus is being made on this program, and currently we are succeeding in implementing this program at the district level. The district initiative has provided an accelerated opportunity to disband the groups in an effective way and provide an opportunity also for the development project to be launched in this project once the compliance is achieved.
The implementation of DIAG program has developed and obtained successes at the district level through national partnership and active involvement of the people. Thus far, the DIAG program has covered 70 districts in different parts of the country, whereas the program has been successfully implemented in 31 districts, and the implementation is underway in the remaining districts. The weapons collection and disbandment of illegal armed groups in various parts of the country have paved the way for generating employment and livelihood opportunities for the poor. This will also encourage people to hope for a prosperous future. In terms of development activities, the DIAG program is in the process of implementing 29 projects that include micro-hydropower, construction of school buildings, establishment of health and veterinary clinics, cleaning and rehabilitation of canals, and laying of irrigation networks. One such project has been completed in the Kapisa province. The project has provided employment opportunities to about 4,600 people in the province. The government of Japan contributed with $15 million by way of financial assistance to these activities. The Afghanistan New Beginning program continues to support the government of Afghanistan in implementing the DIAG program, cantonment of heavy weapons and collection and destruction of anti-personnel mines and ammunition stockpiles. A speedy implementation of these programs will pave the way for establishing effective and efficient Afghan security forces and creation of a mechanism by which Afghan citizens can build a peaceful society and a bright and prosperous future for themselves and generations to come.
زمون ګران وطن افغانستان دی